person. Ally will read the notice of the meeting. We have to read the full notice, so it's a long reading. And then Chuck will introduce you again for the quick summary. Chuck will do the final review of community benefits. Then I'll open the floor to comments. We'll stare at each other uncomfortably for about 5 to 10 minutes, and then we'll close the public hearing in about 25 minutes. Okay. That's usually what happens. Okay. We have so many. Obviously, the idea is we already get that in for Washington. Keep it.
Yeah. You got a lot going on.
We are.
Yeah.
All right, we are online and we are recording, so I'd like to call to order the public hearing for Patten Property Management LLC, 10 Broad Street, City of Glens Falls, County of Warren at 12:04 p.m. Ally, is anybody online?
No.
We have no public online. I'd like to turn it over to Chuck to introduce who we have in person.
Okay, so for Patten Property Management LLC, we have Chris and Dayreen Patten here to explain the project and answer any questions.
Great, thank you so much. Ally, please read the notice.
Notice is hereby given that a public hearing pursuant to Article 18-A of the New York State General Municipal Law will be held by the counties of Warren and Washington Industrial Development Agency on the 14th day of August 2025 at 12 p.m. local time at the office of Fitzgerald Morris Baker Firth PC, 68 Warren Street, Glens Falls, New York 12801. The public hearing may also be live streamed on YouTube under Warren Washington IDA or available via Zoom at the following information. Patten Property Management, LLC, a limited liability company established pursuant to the laws of the state of New York, having an address of 20 Ridgewood Court, Queensbury, New York, 12804, has requested that the agency provide financial assistance in the form of real property tax abatement, a mortgage recording tax abatement, and a sales tax abatement regarding the certain housing project to consist of the acquisition by the agency of a leasehold interest in certain real property located at 10 Broad Street in the city of Glens Falls, County of Warren, New York, and being known as tax map parcel number 309.28-5-4 and consisting of approximately 0.68 acres. The planning, design, construction, operation, and maintenance by the company of approximately 16,562 plus or minus square foot 3-story housing facility consisting of 24 1- and 2-bedroom apartments and a parking garage, the acquisition of and installation in and around the land and improvements by the company of machinery, equipment, fixtures, and other items of tangible personal property, and entering into a straight lease transaction within the meaning of subdivision 15 of section 854 of the Act, pursuant to which the agency will retain a leasehold interest in the facility for a period of time and sublease such interest in the facility back to the company, all pursuant to Title I of Article 18-A of the General Municipal Law of the State of New York, Chapter 862 of the Laws of 1971 of the State of New York as amended. The agency may be providing financial assistance with respect to the project in the form of sales tax exemptions related to the construction and equipping of the project facility, a mortgage recording tax exemption on qualifying mortgages, and a payment in lieu of taxes, which are consistent with the policies of the agency, including the agency's policy on deviations. Should other financial assistance be requested, it shall be consistent with the policies of the agency. A representative of the agency will be in attendance at the above stated time and place to hear and accept written comments from all persons with views in favor of or opposed to the granting of financial assistance contemplated by the agency or the location or nature of the facility. The application of the company is available for public inspection during normal business hours at the offices of the agency located at 5 Warren Street, Glens Falls, New York, 12801. Minutes of the hearing will be made available to all necessary parties.
Thank you, Ally. We'll turn it over to Chuck to talk about the details of
Okay, I'll actually turn it over to Chris and Darren to explain the project, and then I'll go into the incentives and the benefits.
The 10th Broad Street project started with the demolition of the existing Rite Aid was there, and the demolition of the parking lot there that was in rough shape. The new project will consist of 24, as you mentioned, 24 1- and 2-bedroom apartments. There'll be the apartments will be on the second and third floor. There'll be 56 parking spaces on the first level, which will provide parking for all the apartments above, as well as the other building located at 4656 South Street, with 12 extra spaces that will be dedicated to some of the commercial spaces there on South. Access to the apartments will be via an elevator. We'll have a snow melt system on the first level. See, across will all be ADA compatible, so we'll have mail and delivery packages in the lobby first level as well. The key code access to the doors, cameras around, and then a gate for access to the parking garage. So it will be private parking for only our tenants and the tenants of the other building. Let's see.
Total project cost?
Yeah, total project cost is around 6 million or so on average.
Yeah, just a little over 6.
Yeah, the concept of the project started over a year ago, so we had some budget overruns, and that's why we reached out to you guys for some help. We've had, I think it's been almost 12 months since getting our original pricing, so that's really changed a bit. The 10 Broad Street project, it's going to make a significant change in downtown. I mean, the point there is, I think, going to be a key component, in changing and staying with the IDAs, consistent with the IDAs development of South Street. So it's going to be a unique and beautiful complex there.
And you're going from a bit of an eyesore to a building that will be a very attractive building.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a gorgeous project. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
And it's underway. I mean, we have footings in the ground now and steel. It's about 1/3 of the way done. I have some steel erected beams, I think, for next week. So.
Okay. So as for the proposed investments or proposed incentives, we have 3 proposed incentives. The first is property tax incentives in the form of pilot. Project qualifies for the pilot within the IDA's uniform tax and policy. The pilot payments will be made for a term of 10 years with a 50% exemption of real property taxes on the value of improvements for year 1 and 5% annual increase in years 2 to 10 after construction is completed. This totals an estimated $878,919 in payments over 10 years versus an estimated $1,212,302 without the investment incentive. The estimated property tax benefit is $333,383 over 10 years. The second proposed incentive is state and county sales tax abatement totaling 7% of rounding 2.6 million in purchases subject to sales tax. The estimated benefit is $180,477. The third incentive is mortgage tax abatement of the 1% from an estimated mortgage loan of $4.6 million. The estimated mortgage tax benefit is $46,090. The proposed total gross investment incentive for the Patten Property Management LLC is an estimated $559,951 before fees. The WWIDA administrative fee is $54,401 for servicing incentives, including the 10-year pilot. The estimated legal fee is $15,000. The estimated total net investment incentive is $490,549. The net incentives are 8.1% of the total project costs. As far as the community impact, the community and economic benefits of the proposed project over 10 years are the following. First, create 24 new 1- and 2-bedroom housing units to support the community's growing demand for housing, especially for employees with local businesses in response to the regional housing shortage. 2, generate an estimated 120 plus construction jobs valued at over 2.5 million. 3, generate construction material sales with an estimated value exceeding $2.5 million with 95% sourced within New York State. And 4, complements the Glens Falls Downtown Revitalization Initiative. In conclusion, approving the Patten Property Management LLC application supporting the construction of 24 new apartments in the city of Glens Falls would be in the best interest of the community and the economy of the residents of Warren and Washington counties. And that's a quick summary.
Great, thank you so much. I will open the floor to any other comments. Do we have any public guests online, Alex?
We do not.
This is the stage where we sit here uncomfortably and stare at each other.
So how's
Eric gives me that.
Let me ask a question. With South Street, there's other development going on South Street. Everything going well with the other, not just your project, but your neighboring projects?
Yeah, we've been working closely with those guys. They just signed an easement to allow us to bring high voltage power from behind the back corner of where Sandy's is. And so they granted an easement after a few months of begging. Yeah. So they've given that to us, and so National Grid was there yesterday because we still don't have a permanent source of power for our building there, 4656 South. Being that far, it's getting, so our elevator has been delivered and we can't do anything. Can't do anything without 3-phase, so we don't have 3-phase power in the building. And so I'm hoping in the next couple of weeks we'll have that done, and then the last little bits of the framing of the back restaurants and kitchens are gonna be done. Yeah, I've been working with the mayor. We had applied for a curb cut to allow, access for deliveries, beer kegs and things like that to the restaurants. So that was a little bit of a change on our site plan. And, there's been a couple little things that have changed on the exterior that, again, we have to go back to the planning board to revisit. The awning that we built, if you saw that, it was supposed to be just individual awnings, and found there was like a lot of brickwork that was damaged. And so I made a choice to make that a consistent awning the whole way. So we have to revisit the planning board for that, but other than that, it's fine. And then across the street, I think they just started construction on the 5-story 70-unit building. I just heard a couple of negative things, but they're remedying those, and I think they're going to be starting out pretty soon. So Jordan is the superintendent across the street with Bonaccio, and he's been great to work with. Yeah, as far as he's let me borrow a couple machines when I need to unload material and I don't have one, or we have a couple machines down, so it's been good. They're a good team.
Yeah, all my interaction with them on other projects has been very positive. They're very professional.
Yep.
Very accommodating firm.
By the books, but definitely, professional and courteous, but yeah, by the books for sure.
Yeah, so when you see the fenced in parking lot, that whole area would be the construction site?
That's the 70-unit apartment complex that goes from South Street, and then it's like kind of a, a little
Towards
jogger round.
Towards Iron Gate, down the
Right,
street.
yep, it has frontage on both Elm and South, and then like a drive-through pass to get to parking that's in the back.
Okay.
And then I guess they've struck a deal with the same parking garage that we have a deal with 76 Glen over at 333 Glen Street. So they're providing parking at that parking garage there. So yeah, that seems to be the biggest snafu with any development downtown. There's really no parking when buildings are built from corner to corner. And if they don't have any deep parking, and then the cities, they're trying to keep off-street parking to a minimum and ticketing things, so it's tough.
Yeah, pressure to building.
It is, yeah. I mean, to get, behind the bullpen or something, or wherever.
Yeah, place to park and visit.
Yeah, I really feel like that's gonna, once they figure out a large parking facility, I feel like every single building in that area is just gonna be incentivized to, jump on it.
Yeah.
I think it's the biggest driving force holding things back, but.
I think that's what happened in Saratoga, where they built the buildings and then there was a need and then figured it out.
Yeah,
So, something-
ultimately, it's it has to happen, and every city ultimately ends up with a parking garage or two.
Yeah.
I know they have a couple, but it seems just in that little area, because we're spoiled. This little city, nobody wants to walk more than 100 feet.
Isn't that the truth?
I mean, you go to New York City,
Block.
they're getting blocked. It's like like, wow, it's great parking.
Everyone goes to New York City and they have no qualms about walking 10.
With the game, you can park at our office, they're like, oh, then I have to walk, I'm like.
There's something here.
Take a Small city problem, but it's a big issue when you're talking about tenancy, like a new girl from out of town who just works at the hospital. She doesn't really want to walk, a half mile or even at 300 yards at night. And, it's not that we have an unsafe city, but they're looking for that close, get out of the car, get right into your place. And so it's something that we definitely look forward.
I just have a question for you as far as timing. When do you think you're gonna close on the financing for?
So I mean, originally we were gonna close right away, and then this became an option to us, so we kind of put this as the forefront.
Okay.
Assuming that everything is going to be approved, we would look to close soon after that.
Okay,
The intention was looking for a date.
okay, okay.
Yeah, just I'm
I'll coordinate with
juggling funds at the moment, we make sure that I don't go too far with either project without having to draw. Obviously, the percentage of the total investment for me on that project is considerably larger. So I'm like, I have to get so many millions of dollars into this before I can, so it doesn't really incentivize me to close until I have, enough work in place
Yeah.
to really actually get a draw back from the bank. So as soon as I start framing, which is about October, I don't know how long this stuff will take to close.
Well, we'll close the month.
Well,
Right, there.
Yeah.
If the board
so
approves.
The consideration will be on the agenda for next Monday.
For August.
Yeah,
Okay, so then
Monday,
we'll push.
next meeting.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
you just haven't done it yet. It's Monday.
Yeah.
I think it's already Monday.
Yeah,
Yeah, but if all goes well, then, I would say sometime in September.
how are we doing time? We're doing well. We burned up a lot of time.
12:20. I did do a walk around to ensure the front desk that there was nobody lingering, so there was no public out there as well. So I will start my 1 minute gap between asking for public comments if the lawyer says I'm good. All right, then let's start the closing here. So does anyone wish to speak? Is there anyone that wishes to be heard? Is there any public comments? Having called 3 times for public comments and hearing none, I will close this public hearing at 12:22.